Hi everyone, this is Elena and welcome. This is my third video for today for another card using the fill-in bundle from Concord and 9th, and I'm using the stencils and the fill-in stamp set. Fill-in sentiment stamp set. I'll be using the stem and the leaves, but as well you can use the flower from there. I decided I wanted to do a little bit smaller flower, so I'm using the stencil. And I'm using Ranger Distress inks to stencil in a couple of the flowers. So I'm positioning the stencil, the first layer, the larger, like the main flower, the flower outlined where I want them to be positioned, and I'm securing my cardstock using microspore tape. And this tape should not tear your cardstock. However, you will notice in a little bit when I was done and I wanted to pull off that tape, it tore off my cardstock, but I have a fix for that I'll show you in a second. So I'm just masking around my flower that I want so the ink doesn't go in other areas of my white panel. And I'm using worn lipstick and candied apple distress inks and mini blending tool. So I'm just first going with the lighter color, which is the worn lipstick. I'm gonna stencil kind of blend that ink onto my stencil. So I just want to make sure that I have even coverage and that the color is nice and saturated. Next, when I'm done with this flower, I'm removing the sticky notes. I'm using some like fully sticky. They're like sticky all over the back. And next I'll mask again. I position that second flower and I'm gonna mask around. I'm removing that tape to move it over because it was interfering with the image. So I'm just masking around again. And I'm gonna stencil in that second flower. I'm just repeating the same process as I did for the first one. Just making sure that everything is nicely covered and saturated. So there we have it. Just gonna remove everything now. And I'm gonna go with the second layer of my stencil. And for this one, I'll use darker red. I'll use candied apple. So I'm just positioning my stencil where I want it to be, kind of to line up with the previous image. And I'm kind of securing that with the microspore tape. And I should have used my Misty for this because with the magnets it's much easier and there is no risk that your cardstock will get torn when you remove the tape. So next I'm going with the candied apple. Just making sure that that little sponge is nicely inked before I go onto my cardstock. So just blend that well so I have nice coverage. Remove the sticky notes and move on to the second flower. So I'm gonna line that up again. Secure it with the tape that's already there. And then mask it around with the sticky notes. So I don't accidentally color more than just the flower. So I'm just blending that in. And then we're done with the stencil. So I'm removing everything now. So this is where the part where I kind of tore the stencil, not the stencil, but the cardstock. I was just trying to see now if I wanted to add another flower. So just pull that and the cardstock tore on the top. So there's that little piece you can notice on top. But I do have a little fix for that. I used the Ranger Multimatte Medium and the micro tip applicator. Kind of add a little bit, and then with my fingers kind of smooshed it on top so it kind of flattens out, but my finger actually had some ink on it, so it left a little pinkish red mark. But that didn't really bother me. Well, it did bother me, so I trimmed my cardstock a little bit more so that mark was gone. Next, I'm using my Misty to stamp the stem of from the stamp set onto the flowers, and I'm using Altenew Parrot ink. This is from the Tropical Forest ink collection, the mini ink cubes. So I stamp the first one, then I turn around that stem, and I'm stamping the second one. I'm stamping twice to get a little bit more saturated look. Next, I'm positioning the leaves and pretty much doing the same thing. So you'll notice here I applied first a little bit of Versamark, and then I trimmed it, not trimmed it, but wiped it off with my finger. So this allows the stamps to absorb the ink a little bit better, and when you stamp you have nicer and more solid image. So I'm stamping twice because again I want a little bit more saturated look, and here's almost finished image. So next I just need a sentiment, and this time I'm using the Faith and Love stamp set, which is again from the new release from Concord and 9th, and I'm building my sentiment, and I wanted to say have faith. So I have those two words. This is like an amazing set. It's great for Bible journaling and as well for any occasions cards, especially encouragement cards. So then I'm taking some red cardstock for my card base, and using Fun Foam, I'm gonna adhere that panel onto my red card base. So we're almost done here. Next I'm adding just finishing touches and adding my big head in your screen. I apologize for that. I just added some Spectrum Nor Sparkle pen, the clear one. I just added in the darker spots in the flower. Next I'm just using some iridescent sequins, and I'm using Multimatte Medium to adhere them, and the micro tip applicator and the tweezers, and here's the finished card. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Bye!